Hi guys, it's Wendy here from Wendy Wise Beauty. Thanks for stopping by and for visiting me again on my channel. Today I will be reviewing 3 new fragrances from the house of Montale Paris. These fragrances were just dropped and 2 of them became available last week. So I have these fragrances here and we will be discussing them today. Before I continue, I would just like to say a very heartfelt thank you to all of you guys, all of the people who have subscribed to my channel. I was hoping to reach 2,000 subscribers by the end of the year, and this was achieved this week. So I am super happy, super ecstatic. It was a lot of work, but finally I am here. Do keep subscribing, sending your comments, and please do not forget to give me a thumbs up if you find this video to be helpful or if you like my video. So on to the review of the new fragrances from Montale Paris. I did pick up last week Montale Arabians Musk. I also have Dallachai and also the fragrance called Beast Love. I am going to review all 3 fragrances in detail. Prior to starting, I would just like to say what I found awesome is that when you order these new fragrances, you do get a sample for doing try before you buy, because here in Germany, if you open the fragrances, then you cannot return them. So I did sample the fragrances from these try before you buy samples. And this also allows me to do a quasi small unboxing for you guys today. The first fragrance I am going to start with, it is the one called Arabians Musk. So this is what the packaging looks like. It is the normal Montale fragrance packaging and it is a bit blinding, so I will not spend much time on this one. And this is the normal pouch, and Arabians Musk is inside. This is the packaging of this one. I have been wearing these fragrances now for about a week. I have been using the samples, so this is really not a first impressions. I just waited to open the actual box of the fragrance because I wanted to do a little unboxing. Based on the note breakdown, Arabians Musk, this was really the fragrance that I went to Montale to purchase. And when I went to purchase this one, I realized there was also another new fragrance called Dallachai. Guys, when I sniffed this fragrance, I was really over the moon and it was really love at first sniff. The top note of the fragrance, it's made up of sweet honey, bergamot and zest. The opening of Arabians Musk, it is rich, it is sweet, and I can simply describe this as delicious and delightful. The fragrance, it is described as elegant, but in the opening phase, I would just describe this as sinful and delightful. It is really a modern, indulgent gourmand fragrance. It is sweet. However, the bergamot in the top note, it does keep the sweetness in check, so the fragrance does not become cloyingly sweet. A lot of the gourmand fragrances from Montale, they can be in the opening a bit cloying, but this fragrance is different. It is sweet, but at the same time, it does have a breeze of citrus, bergamot going through the fragrance, keeping this from being too dense. As opposed to elegant, the opening of Arabians Musk, you can say it smells rich and expensive. Some of the Montale fragrances can have a very plasticky artificial opening, and this one does not. It smells of very natural honey and sweet accords. The opening of the perfume, it is very crowd pleasing, you know. It is in line with the trend at the moment of yummy, delicious. However, this fragrance, it does not pull very juvenile. It is a yummy, delicious fragrance. However, this can be worn by people of all ages, all demographics. It is very grown-up sweet. The honey note in the opening, it is very like pure honey, but at the same time, it is very fragrant. It is not a very dense and heavy foodie honey note. The middle note, it is made up of medjool dates and also Tunisian orange blossom, which is sourced from Morocco. Medjool date, I do love this type of dates because it's very fragrant, very creamy, and I do believe that this note, it is already intermingled into the opening because the honey note, it is very fragrant, very rich. It is really a very opulent honey note. It does take quite a bit of time for the opening of Arabian's musk to settle until the fragrance enters the heart note, but the opening, it is so beautiful. I do not mind it. It is the biggest payout in this fragrance. You know, a lot of fragrances, they have beautiful openings, but they are very fleeting and they are quickly gone. When the fragrance moves into more the heart note, yeah, the Tunisian orange blossom appears and it adds a very nice floral note to the fragrance. And the fragrance, it does open a bit more. It becomes more airy, more silky. It is beautifully done. The orange blossom, which is the only, I think, floral note listed in this fragrance, it is not a floral explosion. It just mixes in with this beautiful gourmand notes, making this fragrance even more indulgent, even more sinful. The base of the fragrance, it is Venezuelan tonka bean, vanilla sugar, and warm musk. This is a very warm fragrance. Once the fragrance gets into the heart note, it warms up. A very nice, beautiful, silky musk accord appears and it finishes off this fragrance. It is beautiful, enjoyable from the first spray all the way down to the base of the fragrance, the last minute, really, that it remains on your skin. The musk note in this fragrance, it is warm, it is silky, and it does have a slight powdery accord, which works very well with the sweet accords. It is really a very nice, delicious, creamy blend of a fragrance. The vanilla note, it is really present in the base of the fragrance. It does not overpower the musk. It is there, but I think it just adds a bit of elegance. There is tonka bean in the scent and I think it adds richness. I have not noticed any kind of burnt accord or any kind of menthol accord, which tonka bean can at times impart in fragrances. This is a very silky, creamy, delicious blend. Guys, this fragrance, it is just beautiful. It is very long lasting. There is nice projection. I wouldn't call it beast mode. I also would not want such a fragrance to be beast mode, but I can smell myself. And I did ask a friend of mine, I met her for coffee, And she also said it is quite pretty, and she is not much of a fragrance person. So when she tells me a fragrance is beautiful, it tells me that this one, it is a crowd pleaser. It has a very long journey, but you will enjoy every step in this journey. Sometimes some of the notes, they come out more than others, but they are always beautiful. This one, it is definitely worth trying. The opening of the scent, it is so captivating. I have seen on some fragrance websites that people are saying that Arabians Musk is very similar to Montale Sweet Oriental Dream, which I have here. This is the 50 milliliter. I do love Sweet Oriental Dream. This is a powdery, sweet, almost you can say tropical musk fragrance. I do not find any great similarities between the two fragrances. Sweet Oriental Dream has a very strong powdery accord, and at times this fragrance can be very cloying. It is necessary to wear this in the perfect weather. Perfumes are very subjective, but to my nose, other than that, they are two, you can say, relatively sweet fragrances, and there is a powdery note. I could not find a very strong similarity. Sweet Oriental Dream has a lot of powder, and in this fragrance there is just a little hint of powder which comes out in the heart note of the fragrance. And sometimes I do sense it in the dry down, but this is not a powdery fragrance. The next one which I will review, it is the one called Dallachai, or maybe it's Dallachai, yeah? Because you say chai tea, so I would say Dallachai. The name of the fragrance, it is actually a combination of Dalla, which is an Arabian coffee pot, what you prepare it in, and chai tea, so it is Dallachai. Guys, I do have this fragrance here, but I will not be opening this full bottle. I am still not certain if I will keep this fragrance, so I am still working with the sample of Dallachai. This fragrance at the moment for me, it is a bit challenging. The opening notes, they are cardamom, clove, saffron and passion fruit. This fragrance, same as Arabians Musk, it has such a beautiful opening. I mean, I long for this opening throughout the life of the fragrance, and the problem that I do have is that this beautiful opening, it really muffs as the fragrance progresses. You can say it disappears. The opening of Dallachai, it is not a very silky smooth opening. When this fragrance is first sprayed, the passion fruit note, it is very pronounced, and it is not what you can say in the opening when it is first sprayed an aromatic passion fruit note. It is a bit of passion fruit laced more with what I would say is a burnt accord. Right when it is sprayed, the spices in this fragrance mixed with the passion fruit, it does come across as this burnt accord that I am talking about. However, this dissipates quite quickly, and the passion fruit does become a beautiful passion fruit note laced with spice and some sweet accords. As soon as this burnt accord in the opening of this fragrance, it is a bit aggressive. As soon as this dissipates, the coffee and the milk, which is the heart note of the fragrance, it appears quite quickly, and when it intermingles with the spicy notes of cardamom and saffron, this really becomes a beautiful fragrant tea. It is so captivating, and this is my problem with the fragrance. I love the opening and the heart note of this fragrance so very much. I want to keep this, or I want it to linger a bit more. When the milk and the coffee intermingle with the passion fruit and the spices, this is such a gorgeous bouquet. I absolutely love this. And you were saying, Wendy, if you love this, why are you not sure you will keep this fragrance? It's because this disappears. The heart note and the top note of this fragrance, I can say it is quasi pretty much the same as soon as this burnt accord disappears, and then the fragrance, it moves into the base, which is pretty much an ambery fragrance. I was a little bit disheartened by this, so I actually timed how long this beautiful Arabian coffee lasts on my skin. I did a full day test and I applied it, spread the fragrance at 9:33, and at 10:13 this beautiful note of coffee, passion fruit and spices, it was gone, this beautiful accord. So I just wanted to make sure that it was not something I was building into my head. This fragrance would have also been for me a done deal, really. In the opening phase, had the fragrance retained a bit more of this Arabian coffee, Dallachai, accords. On my skin chemistry, the base, it is simply an amber fragrance with hints of spice and some musk. It really muffs into nothing. I would really say to go out and try this fragrance or get a sample. If you are someone where your skin chemistry, it does retain this beautiful Dallachai accord, and you are able to smell this, to sense this a couple hours later, 2-3 hours, I am terribly jealous. And for you, this fragrance would be a done deal. It would be a beautiful addition to your collection. But for me, what remains, it's an ambery musk laced with some spice, and actually I will most likely get Arabian Tonka and return this fragrance to Montale. Guys, I am so sad, because this fragrance, it started out so beautifully, and I was really like, yes, this is so gorgeous. This is a fragrance for me. I have nothing like this in my collection because I wanted to order the Montale Intense Cafe, I think it is called, but I decided to put this off because I saw that this fragrance was about to enter the market. But it is a pity for me that it does not last on my skin chemistry. Also, Dallachai, the opening, it is quite explosive, bismuth, very strong, but by the time this fragrance gets to the dry down, and I would say max 2-3 hours later, I can barely smell this fragrance. I tried this scent a lot more than I did Arabians Musk because this was love at first sniff. The performance was amazing. So I was fighting most of the time with Dallachai, but I think I will most likely be sending this back. I have tried it for quite a few days and it has not changed on my skin chemistry. The free sample that I did receive from Montale, it is this one. It is called Beast Love. Oh my god, this fragrance, when I got this and I saw Beast Love, this was the first fragrance that I really tore into, because the notes, you know, they were also looking like notes, fragrance notes that I do like. Mist Mode, it is classified as an Oriental woody fragrance, which is unisex to my nose. It is leaning a bit more feminine, but I don't see any reason why this can't be worn by men. It is clean, woody, and the opening of the fragrance, it is beautiful, it is inviting. Guys, when I sprayed this fragrance, because it is called Beast Love, you know, I was expecting a very loud, beast mode opening, very busy fragrance, but it actually is not. The beast mode comes a bit later. The opening of this fragrance, it's actually a bit, you can say, floral fruity, but more fruity. The pear note in the opening, it's beautiful, it's clean, it is actually explosive, and there are aromas of plum, but it is pretty much a very nice crisp pear accord, which is not dense, it is airy. It is actually a very nice opening. When this fragrance progresses, the opening is very fresh. However, there is a leather note. So with progression, the fragrance becomes a lot warmer. The leather note, it is more, I would say, suede-y. It is not a strong leather note. It warms up the fragrance. It adds a bit of depth. This very, I would say, fruity floral opening, it becomes more grounded. The woody accord, or the woody notes in Beast Love, they are light, clean, woody notes. They warm up the fragrance. It makes it very elegant. I must say the opening of the fragrance, it is very young, you know, very crowd pleasing. It is still very clean when it gets to the heart, but then it becomes more elegant, it gains depth, and it becomes a more serious fragrance. After the woody notes appear, then the vanilla starts to appear. The amber enters into the fragrance. It is not a dense amber. I am wondering sometimes if this is more a dry amber note, you know, because it is not dense, it is not giving the fragrance a very oriental feel. It still remains a crisp and clear fragrance. When Beast Love settles, it is an ambery vanilla base laced with very nice woody notes. However, I do not sense a very strong leather accord. I am very sensitive to leather. I am always saying this, and I know a lot of people are, so I think it does help you guys a bit. When it enters in the heart note, it is there. However, on the dry down on my skin, this is really not a leather fragrance. Beast Love, it is a pretty fragrance. It is a nice fragrance, elegant, I think, for the office, for everyday wear. However, on my chemistry, I wouldn't call it beast mode. What is beast mode about this perfume is when I sprayed this, even from the sample, a couple minutes later, the room in which I sprayed the perfume, it was completely filled with Beast Love. When the fragrance is sprayed, it explodes, but it is not a fragrance which is vulgar or where you would have to dose it sparingly. On the skin, it reacts differently. It has very good sillage. The sillage of Beast Love, it is beautiful. It is nothing exceptional, nothing new, but it is a beautiful fragrance nonetheless. I will put this one on my wish list. This is a fragrance I would not hesitate picking up if I did get it in a sale. This is a nice fragrance. It is very pretty, it lasts long, and I think this is money well spent. Whereas Dallachai, it is a fragrance which muffs into nothing on my skin. The aspects in this fragrance that I love, which is this beautiful opening and the heart of the fragrance, it disappears too quickly. Arabians Musk, I will be rocking this one this fall. It is a warm fragrance, so perfect for the weather we are having. But I do love this fragrance so much. I can see myself wearing this in any weather, any season. It might be a bit much for the heat of summer, but it is so beautiful. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up, subscribe, and hope to see you again soon on my channel. Tschüss!